Hey, what's going on, everybody? So a couple days ago I actually posted a video on YouTube, and it's been quite some time since I've religiously done that, and that's just simply because my life has drastically changed over the course of a couple years. I am now out on a homestead trying to rebuild it, get everything functional again. You can see that I have a son now. This is Remington. Can you say hi? He says, heck no, man, we're out walking. We might be going to check on the deer situation. I have no idea. So that's the main reason why I just don't post as many videos as I do. But I wanted to absolutely thank everybody. They really touched me because I had just an overwhelming amount of good response from posting that video, and it made me kind of stop and think about that a little bit, and think about maybe starting to get back into videos a little bit more. I guess the only problem that I have with videos nowadays is I just don't do a lot of bushcraft stuff anymore because I'm always here on the homestead, and that also the thought occurred that maybe people would be wanting to see the things that I'm doing out here, or something along those lines. I'm not entirely sure. I know that something that I do want to do now that I have the luxury is including this guy. I mean, literally with just everything that I do. I didn't have that luxury with my daughter. I could take her, camping with me and stuff like that, but I didn't have a place that I could just walk outside and go hunting or, trapping or something like that, whereas now I do. And also at that time, I worked for somebody and punched a time clock for somebody else, whereas now, I work for myself, and with him, I have him, on Fridays. And so on Fridays, it's really about the only time that I have to do anything that, I kind of want to do myself. But I want to include him. Like right now, I'm walking around, and I wouldn't mind taking a shot at a squirrel or two, because right behind me, they're just thick. I can't hold a rifle with him on my chest, otherwise the gun would probably want to rest right on his head, and that just wouldn't be good. So let me know if any of you guys or gals have children of your own. Have you guys come across something that was good to maybe hold your child on the back? I would really much like it where they could face forward, see the things that I'm seeing. So if I don't know if anything like that exists, I mean, I just have no clue. So curiosity has definitely got the better of me, and I'm curious to see if any of you guys know of anything along those lines. Maya, Tundra, Eddie, Misty, come on. Come on, Maya. I think one of the things that I definitely owe to everybody is a new leather tutorial video, because the way I do things nowadays is 150% different than what I did when I posted my very first tutorial. And the way that I do things now, it just makes things a lot cleaner, a lot nicer looking, I guess. And I still get a lot of questions in regards to how to do certain things, so I think that is definitely one of the things that's going to be on my priority list coming up very soon, is to make you know, a good tutorial video on leather. Something that's not necessarily just a traditional bushcraft sheath. I don't know. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Is there anything in particular that you would like to see, you know, be made? And you have to understand that it has to be something that I know I can sell. I mean, I can't make, you know, a $700 to $800 item, you know, as a tutorial and then hope that I sell it. You know, it's got to be something within reason. So let me know what you guys think, and we can definitely work something out for sure. Where'd the puppies go? Oh, there they are. These are a couple of our new puppies here. My German Shepherd and my Chocolate Lab had puppies, and these are the two Shepherdors. The one in the back is our dog Misty, and the one in the front is Eddie. It's the neighbor's dog. They are just unbelievably smart puppies so far. Their traits, it literally is like a perfect mix between our Lab and then our German Shepherd. They're just unbelievably smart dogs. So if I start doing videos again, you know, it won't be as often as usual, just because out here I constantly have, you know, some sort of project going on. And right now the most recent is, this is a well that's out here in the middle of the field, and we're restoring power to it and everything else. So I've been trimming, you know, the tree line, or tree limbs away from the power lines and everything else. And that cedar tree right there behind my truck, that big one, I'm going to probably have to completely take that tree out, because it literally encases that entire power line. And so eventually that's going to be an issue as well. But I'm hoping that I will have a couple cows out on this this pasture this spring. That's the goal anyway at this point. You know, last year it was all about getting my my chickens in, and I now have 2 flocks of chickens. And even though that right now, with the change of temperature and everything else, they're just not laying at all. But you know, they will soon. So this spot down here is literally kind of like my magic corner. You know, right as I say that, I don't know if it was in frame, but I had just a big old owl take off right there. There is always something down here. This is where the hot spot is for deer. Doesn't matter with it if they're within rut or anything. They really don't change their patterns as much in this area. It's really crazy. Usually rut throws everything off, but not down here. I mean, this corner is just like the magic highway for everything. So you can sit underneath this where these 2 hedge lines intersect, and you can pick off squirrel, I mean, all day long. You just sit still for a little bit, and next thing you know, they start running, of course. I have my my stand sitting right there, because this is where, you know, I take my deer. Actually, I have another spot right down there in that far corner as well. It's where I took my deer last year. But so far I've harvested 2 deer this year. One was in this spot, and then one was on a buddy of mine's property. But I do intend on getting a couple more here, but then that's it. I don't want to overhunt. We have a very good and healthy population right now, and I definitely want to maintain that for sure. The other nice thing is, last year at this time, this area out here was so hunted, it wasn't even funny, because, you know, they weren't used to people actively patrolling this property. So poachers would definitely come in here all the time. And I actually had to run off several people last year that were trying to hunt out here, and several people that were, you know, you could see walking on the property and everything else. It was actually quite crazy, the lack of respect that people had last year for others' property. But this year it has been a complete change. I have not had any problems with poachers or anything like that this year. So the presence of someone constantly being out here and patrolling your property and everything else, I think that has definitely helped things tremendously. What's that baby doing? Oh, you don't see the baby now. What are you doing? He says, shut up, Dad. We're supposed to be quiet when we're out here. Gee, don't you know nothing? You know, I've never had goose a day in my entire life, but I think this year I might actually take a goose for the first time and give it a shot. I've never done it just because I've heard it's very livery tasting, and that is literally the one thing on this planet that I cannot stomach is liver. Absolutely despise it. So if that's true, let me know. If it's not, let me know. You guys have good recipes, share them, all of the above. Even if I don't like it, you know, obviously nothing around here goes to waste anymore. The last deer that I took, both deer that I've taken this year, I've butchered both myself. Now the first one, I didn't do anything with the carcass, but the second one is what I did is I went ahead and chopped it up into meal sizes for my dogs. Not necessarily a meal size, but more of something they could chew on during the day, and then, you know, have a little something to gnaw on afterwards, you know, all that fun stuff. So the entire carcass I chopped up into sizes and baked them and then froze them and stowed them away in the freezer and thaw them out and give them to the dogs periodically. Same was done with all the trimmings, you know, all the silver skin and the fat and all that good stuff. All the miscellaneous meat, all that's, I take it and I cook it up, grind it up, and then I mix it in with some of their dog food. So it's that's something that's definitely been rewarding, is being able to make sure that there's nothing that goes to waste. When you live in town, can really only do so much, but out here it definitely gives me a lot more freedom, that's for sure. I had mentioned having 2 flocks of chickens now. This is one of the this is the large coop right here, one of the coops anyway. It just needed to be fortified whenever I first got here, and you know, the run, I built the run and then just put some natural limbs in there to hold the top of it up. Just give it a kind of a funner appearance, I guess. The door actually lifts up in the summertime to allow airflow and all that good stuff. But yeah, this is just one of the chicken coops on the property. There's actually 3. There's another one this size, and then there's a giant one as well that I haven't utilized yet. And here's where I keep my second flock. I originally wanted to make this something that was movable with a very small little run. All my chickens are free range anyway, so they don't really stay in the run unless there's a reason for it. But originally I was going to make this movable so that way I could, you know, take advantage of the chicken poop and everything else, because this is where I'm going to put my garden next year. I just recently turned to this soil, and this is where I'm going to have my garden. But is what I found is it's just a little bit too big, and it's just not going to work for that. But it's fine because it's literally right here at my garden, and I can pull all that straw out and, you know, layer it over my soil as the winter moves on. Jack wagons. But no, I just recently turned my soil, got it ready for, you know, this spring. Miscellaneous tree limbs and stuff is what I've been doing, is I've been pulling them up and having small fires, and then I'll kick the ash throughout the garden. And then when I turn the soil again in the spring, you know, it's going to be able to put all that lye and everything else in the soil. And at the same time, as I acquire, you know, straw and chicken poop, that will be distributed in the soil as well. And then we have a donkey on the property, and so I'm going to take, you know, all of his good old droppings and put them in here as well, and turn them in as well. So yeah, that's another thing that I've got going, and any and all advice in that area is always needed as well. All right, well, I think we are going to turn in. I thought Remy had enough, and I thought he had actually closed his eyes. I think he did until I moved his hat. He needs a nap, so we're going to go in, get warm a little bit, and just kind of take it easy for the rest of the day. But, you know, if you guys are interested in actually seeing more homesteading videos and stuff, then I will do my best to try to get more videos. You just won't be able to make as many as what I used to in the past. But if it's something that you guys are interested in, I'll do my best. I love the feedback. I can't comment on everybody's responses. It just takes way too much time, and there's just way too much to do out here. So I will talk to you guys later, and as always, have a good one.